Is it actually possible to chase your deepest physical desires while you're young without eventually hollowing out your own soul? King Solomon, Shlomo HaMelech, approached this tension in his older, more reflective years with a foundational premise. He observed that the light of wisdom is sweet and healthy for the eyes, providing a bright intellectual clarity that changes how a person perceives the world. Solomon identifies a distinct separation between physical pleasure and ethical wisdom. Physical thrills are bound to the aging process and eventually fade, but wisdom never runs dry. Its value remains constant across an entire lifespan. This leads to his surprising command to the youth. He tells the young man to actively rejoice, to fill his heart with good, and to follow the paths of his own heart and the sights of his eyes. However, he introduces a heavy counterweight to that freedom. You must realize that God will hold you accountable for every one of those choices. This awareness of an ultimate accounting serves as a structural framework for a person's life. It protects pleasure from collapsing into the kind of self-destructive hedonism that eventually leads to futility. Because youth is fleeting, Solomon warns us to recall our Creator's mission before the inevitable years of frail old age arrive. He describes this decline as a time when the sun, the moon, and the stars conceptually dim. He deconstructs the human body through a series of metaphors. The guards of the home that begin to tremble are the skeletal muscles losing their grip. The mighty men becoming crooked are the legs bowing under the weight of time. Then the senses fail. The millstones stand for teeth that can no longer grind, and the darkness at the windows represents the tragedy of failing eyesight. The world of the aged physically and psychologically shrinks. Doors closed to the market describes a state of physical confinement, while the chirping bird refers to the quiet insomnia that haunts the elderly even as their hearing fades. Eventually, the body becomes so frail that the slightest incline in a road induces terror. Objects as light as a locust feel like a crushing, unbearable burden. This breakdown is the ultimate memento mori. It strips away our illusions of physical invincibility to reveal exactly how fragile our operational machinery truly is. The imagery of death is final and mechanical. The silver rope snapping, the golden wellspring ruined, the bucket broken at the spring, and the pulley wheel crumbling into the shaft. The dust returns to the earth exactly as it originally was, and the spirit returns directly to God who assigned it. Since this total mechanical collapse is a certainty, the text forces an urgent conclusion. You must actualize your potential and draw your waters right now, while your apparatus is still functional. At the end, Shlomo HaMelech returns to his opening paradox, that everything is futile. By ending exactly where he began, he creates an inclusio, or ring structure. This loop traps the nihilistic argument. The fact that this highly structured document exists to analyze futility proves that life isn't actually a random void. The circle gives the search for truth a defined shape. Solomon acted as an integrative teacher. He documented profound prose and truth to educate the people, turning his personal search for meaning into a public asset for everyone to use. He compares true wisdom to two tools: a sharp ox prod to uncomfortably poke us out of complacency, and embedded pegs to firmly secure our ideals. Because the writing of books is an infinite, exhausting task, a person cannot rely on formal literature alone. We must actively process these prods and pegs with our minds to build a functional worldview. Once every philosophical and hedonistic argument has been heard, the bottom line remains: fear God and obey His commandments. God will scrutinize every single deed, looking through all human sophistry to judge even our hidden motivations. This inescapable divine accountability provides the ultimate liberation. It is the single reality that gives our fleeting, dust-bound lives eternal weight and a pathway to wholesome humanity. That final truth concludes our journey through Koheles.